Flash flooding is going to be an issue. If any of y'all are out on the roads or planning on going out later on tonight, that severe weather threat is not going to stick with us through the overnight hours. It should be over and done with here in the next few hours. But flash flooding could still be an issue for some areas, maybe some flooding on some of these roadways. We were watching some of the TDOT cameras earlier, cars driving very quickly on some of those. Just take it a little bit slower out there. There is some ponding that we've been seeing on some of these roads. So flash flood warning still in effect for a good chunk of Middle Tennessee. We have seen quite a bit of rainfall. I was looking at some of the radar estimated rainfall totals earlier. Just from today, we've already seen some areas with about 4 or 5, almost up to 6 inches of rain or so. So that is going to be something that we're having to pay attention to. I'm going to switch back over here in National Weather Service chat and see if they've said anything more about any of these tornado warnings or this tornado warning for Van Buren and White County. Not seeing any update on this. It was issued, though, at 7:16 in Van Buren County and White County. So we've talked about Van Buren County. If you're in Pine Creek, you need to be in your safe place right now. Around Spencer, too, you need to be in your safe place as well. That's going to be the lowest floor of whatever building you're in. Put as many walls between you and the outside of your home as you can. Stay away from windows as well. If you have a basement, that's going to be one of your better bets. Obviously, not everybody has a basement, though, so just get to the lowest floor into that most interior room. Whenever I say get to your safe place, I know here in Middle Tennessee, a lot of us are pretty familiar with severe weather coverage, but a lot of folks also move into Middle Tennessee, so just wanted to just go over that again. So that's down there in Van Buren County, in the northern portions of that. This is up here in White County. This is going to be just to the east of Sparta, so Stringtown going to be included in that, Bethesda as well. Again, some of these names are a little bit smaller, so I'm probably going to have to be really zoomed in with the double box going, but we want you to still be able to see that game too right there. But Van Buren County, again, 7:45 until that tornado warning expires. I'm going to switch it over to the storm relative velocity again, and we're still seeing some decent rotation, and this is right here is exactly what the National Weather Service in Nashville issued that tornado warning for. Some of these started out with pretty good rotation earlier this afternoon, and then it kind of fizzles out, and then it starts to pick back up just a little bit, and that's when we have these type of systems like what we have moving through today. That's very common that we see this. Some of these can really quickly spin up and then lift, but then may drop down just a little bit down the road again. So it's something that we've been keeping our eye on throughout today, but still the best area of rotation. We're in fact going to zoom in even a little bit more than this. So it's going to be right here between Pine Grove and Fall Creek Falls. It's going to be this area right there. It's going to keep on moving up to the northeast at about 50 miles per hour, and that's going to take it into areas like Cane Creek, Mooneyham, probably within the next 3, 4, 5 minutes or so. Try to get you some of these road names as well. College Street, if you're familiar with this area in Van Buren County, it's going to be crossing over the College Street area here before too much longer. Again, maybe about 3, 4, 5 minutes or so. One of these new updated radar scans is probably going to come out here in just a second. But still some decent rotation on the radar. Some of these haven't been showing the greatest sign earlier today, but this one is still showing a decent bit of rotation right there. Have not seen any confirmed reports if this tornado is actually on the ground for certain or not yet. But like we always say, with these radar indicated rotation tornado warnings that get issued, you have to treat these like there is a confirmed tornado on the ground, because there very well could be. Basically, that radar beam is going out and it's seeing some of the rotation at least up a little bit higher in the sky, and there is a chance that some of that rotation could either be on the ground or it could be on the ground at any moment. That severe thunderstorm very capable of producing a tornado. So that's going to go until 7:45. We only have about 19 minutes left on that. They're going to continue this tornado warning. A new update just came out. Still just for radar indicated rotation. Still not seeing any reports from any law enforcement or storm chasers or anybody like that if there is a confirmed tornado, but they're saying that tree damage, could be likely with this. So just even if there's not a tornado, a lot of these storms have been producing really strong winds too, up to 60 miles per hour or so. We've had a lot of reports earlier today about trees being down too. It's knocked a lot of trees down across portions of Middle Tennessee, and then some of them have been dropping some really heavy rainfall too, so that's led to that flood threat increasing as well. And we're still seeing some heavy rain too right here. This is again just to the east of Spencer and right there around the Cane Creek area and the Mooneyham area. It looks like we may have just had a more recent update radar scan come in. So right here, still near College Street, if you're familiar with this area in Van Buren County, the rotation pretty much right up there. And again, we're double boxed with the ball game, so we'll zoom in. We just got a new updated radar scan if you saw it move right here. But it's this area right here where we're seeing the better rotation. This is College Street right here. Here is Cane Creek. This is going to basically be splitting Mooneyham and Spencer, moving right on up towards Cane Creek. So if you live around the Cane Creek area, you really need to go ahead and get to your safe place. You need to be there right now. You don't have a whole lot longer to get there. So go ahead and get to your safe place. Sweet Gum, Lonewood, Bethesda, River Hill, all of y'all also need to be up there or be down in your safe place. And then moving on up into White County, you still got time if this area of rotation can hold together, but we're still going to be watching these areas like Stringtown, Bonaire, and even up into Spring Hill. This is going to be the Spring Hill that is up there in White County. So it's going to be the one that's in the more eastern portion of our viewing area. But we are going to have to keep an eye on this. Some of these storms have started to rotate pretty quickly earlier today, and that's kind of what we were expecting. You know, these storms with these type of systems that move through, they can really spin up really quickly. So the National Weather Service office here in Nashville, some great meteorologists here at our local office, and they are really good about putting these tornado warnings on storms where they really believe that there could be a tornado on the ground. So they do a very fine job here covering us with these tornado warnings here across Middle Tennessee. Also our Weather Service offices that cover parts of Southern Kentucky too. So, but this is still the area that we're watching right here. It's going to be in the far northern portions of Van Buren County right now. This is going to be still right there around Cane Creek. This is going to be just south of the White County line right here. Northern portions of Van Buren County is where we're having the best area of rotation. I'm going to switch products too. There's a product that we can look at, see if there's any debris that this potential tornado has been lofting up in the air. It's going to give us a different signature onto the radar. So I'm going to put up our debris tracker and let's see. I'm going to put this up, see if there's any debris. We want it to match up with the exact spot of rotation, so we're going to zoom in really closely here so we can get a pretty good visual on this. This is, again, the far northern portions of Van Buren County, right there around Cane Creek, right where we see the reds and the greens. These reds are the winds that are going away from the Nashville radar site, and these greens are the winds that are going towards the Nashville radar site. So right there, if there is a tornado on the ground, that is exactly where it's going to be. We'll pop it over here to the correlation coefficient, and it's shifted a little bit too far to the east, it looks like. So not enough, at least right now, to tell me that there is a confirmed tornado on the ground, but it is something that we're definitely going to have to be keeping an eye out. So it's possible, and that's why you really need to take this seriously and just treat it like it is, because we'll see if we get any sort of updates that come out with this. But there definitely is good enough of a signature on the radar showing the rotation right there to have the National Weather Service office here in Nashville to go ahead and issue that tornado warning. And it looks like they're just going to hold on to this tornado warning, keep it going. Again, the run time on this is going to go until 7:45 if this does not get extended. If you're just now tuning in, we still have the basketball game right up here on the bottom of your screen as well. So if you want to watch that, we want to make sure that you're able to see that too. We just have to cut in whenever there's any tornado warnings issued for anywhere in the viewing area. This may not even be close to your home. You may live close to the Tennessee River, but there are folks obviously living here in Van Buren and White County, so we have to make sure that they have the information that they need to try to stay safe in a situation like this where there could be a tornado warning on the ground right now. So if you're in the northern portions of Van Buren County, you still need to stay in your safe place. This is going to be crossing over the Van Buren County line, headed up into White County, probably within the next about 5 minutes or so. So it's going to be exiting Van Buren County, leaving out of the northern side of Van Buren County and moving on up into White County. So not into White County just yet, but if you're living in White County, just be prepared. This area of rotation is going to start to head your way as we head through the next few minutes or so. Looks like there's another tornado warning too that the Nashville National Weather Service office is saying. They're drawing up a tornado warning for Cumberland County as well. So we're going to pop over here. This is probably not going to be an extension of that same one. This is probably going to be something separate. So it's probably going to be, well, actually it could be an extension of that. Also maybe looking at a little something over here on the eastern side of Cumberland County. So we're going to keep on paying attention to both of these spots. A potential extension of the tornado warning that we have. Okay, so they're going ahead and issuing it right over here with this eastern portion that I was just talking about. So here's Crossville right here. This is Cumberland County now. We have two active tornado warnings. We have the one in northern Van Buren County. We also have the one that's moving into White County. We had that's part of the same tornado warning. This is a new separate tornado warning. This is the one that's moving that's in Cumberland County right now. This is going to be on the eastern edge of Cumberland County. Crossville is not included in this new tornado warning that was just issued. However, Crab Orchard is included in this new tornado warning. Like we had a few of these earlier, these tornado warnings at least, have been getting issued on the far outside, the far eastern edge of our viewing area. So 2 active tornado warnings right now. This one is for Crab Orchard. We are on the very far outskirts on the range of our radar site that's located here in Nashville. So this beam is really having to travel a far ways. That's why we're seeing these gaps in the pixels right here. So it's not able to get a totally clear picture on what is popping up right here on the radar, but you can still see an area of rotation potentially right there around the Crab Orchard, around Daysville, around Renegade, Deerwood, Millstone, Rogers. If you're anywhere within those areas that I just named out over in the eastern half of Cumberland County, now you need to go ahead and be in your safe place as well, because that's going to be an area that we're watching for at least the next almost 30 minutes or so. This tornado warning is set to go until 8 o'clock tonight. I want to come back down here too, though, to this other tornado warning. This was the one that we initially hopped on for. This is in northern portions of Van Buren County on to White County too. It's 7:33 right now. That's the current time. 7:45 is the run time for this tornado warning. That's the first one that was issued. If you're just now joining us, we have 2 tornado warnings for 2 different storms where a tornado could be on the ground. We also have the game in that double box for you too. We still want you to be able to see the ball game going on, but we just have to cut in because we have a couple of tornado warnings that are still in effect, still active over here along parts of the plateau. So we're going to go back out. I'm going to move over here to the National Weather Service chat too. So let's see. It looks like there was a so it says tornado warning over here near Cumberland County. So it's just these two tornado warnings still that are in effect. Not a whole lot longer runtime on this one. We're going to zoom back in. Best area of rotation with this first tornado warning that was issued, it still looks to be right here along the Van Buren and White County line. It is just almost now right at the county line. I'm going to zoom way in, so hopefully you can see this a little bit better. If you live around this area, around Dotson, around Bethesda, around White's Cave Road, if you're familiar with that area, Lost Creek, West Johnson Road, Billy's Branch Road, Stringtown, Eastland Road, any of those areas, you need to go ahead and get in your safe place and just stay there. We'll give you the all clear when it's time for you to be able to get out of that. But again, zooming in right here, I know the screen's a little bit small, but right here, you can still see where this better area of rotation is. These reds, the wind's going away from the Nashville radar site, and these green pixels are the winds going towards it. And right where we have that intersection, okay, this is a fresh radar scan, and we're still seeing some pretty decent rotation right there popping up on the radar. Best rotation now right there around Dotson, just to the southwest of Bethesda. This is coming up on White's Cave Road, where we have the best area of rotation going on right now. So we're going to continue to watch this storm. Looks like another 10 minutes left on this tornado warning if it starts to break apart more. But right now, we're still seeing the rotation. So don't plan on this getting canceled early, that tornado warning right there, at least unless it really starts to just broaden up as we go through the next few minutes or so. Moving back over here to this tornado warning that was issued for the far eastern portions of our viewing area. This is over here in Cumberland County. This is a really messy radar image simply because it is so far away from the Nashville radar site. It's just not a great picture. That's what the velocity looks like. There is a lot of clutter. I'm going to switch it over here to the reflectivity. This is what we look at when we're just looking at regular rainfall. It gets a much better picture on this. And you can see this is pretty strong activity right here. It's kind of difficult to take out the exact area of rotation simply because it is still so far away from the radar site. But it's that area right there, I would say, around Daysville, Deerwood. This is going to be the extreme eastern portions of Cumberland County again. Daysville, Westville, Millstone, Deerwood, probably up even into Rogers area. You really need to be in your safe place. It should be moving out of Cumberland County before a whole lot longer. These storms today have been moving really quickly. This tornado warning officially set to go until 8 o'clock. I don't think this one's going to stay with us for that long. I think this tornado warned storm will have crossed over the Cumberland County line and moved outside of our viewing area probably before it hits 8 o'clock. These storms are moving pretty quickly. I'll see what the, let's see what the information is right here. I'm having to switch back and forth between a lot of stuff. I got National Weather Service chat pulled up right here that I'm going to be looking at to try to get some more information on that tornado warning that was issued for Cumberland County. A lot of updates have been coming in, so I'm going to see this newest one. That's what I'm on right here. So it's still just a radar indicated rotation is what the Nashville National Weather Service office went ahead and issued that tornado warning in the eastern portions of Cumberland County for. Still have not seen any confirmed reports of any tornadoes on that tornado warned storm right there. This is still radar indicated rotation. They saw enough rotation on the radar to go ahead and pull the trigger on issuing that tornado warning right there. It's going to remain in effect until 8 o'clock, though. The tornado watch that's still in effect for areas east of Interstate 65, that tornado watch is going to remain in effect until 9 o'clock as of right now. So actually, and let's see here. So, okay, so that. Now we're going to move back over here to the Van Buren. Okay, so this tornado warning that was in Van Buren County initially, it has now totally crossed out of Van Buren County. I'm going to zoom back in. Again, we're double boxed so you can see the ball game. It does make things a lot smaller though, so we're going to zoom in pretty tight on some of these storms. This is the Van Buren County down there below that tornado warning. So if you live in Van Buren County and you were in any of those town names like Spencer or Cane Creek, Mooneyham, Lonewood, Cummingsville, you can come out of your safe place now. That tornado threat has now pushed across the county line. This is now more of a White County deal right now, so it's going to go until 7:45. There was another radar scan that just came in. We'll see what the velocity looks like on it, and we're still seeing a decent area of rotation right here. You can very clearly pick out that area of rotation. This is going to be just southwest of Stringtown and just to the northwest of Bethesda. So this is the exact area right there that we're going to be keeping an eye on. Again, we'll zoom in. This is right here on Lost Creek. It's going to be crossing over Lost Creek Road, very near to West Johnson Road, Billy's Branch Road, all of these areas, Low Gap Road. If you live here or you know anybody that lives here, go ahead and get in touch with them, or you yourself. Get in your safe place and stay in your safe place. We'll give you the all clear, just like we did with Van Buren County, when you're safe to go ahead and get out of there. But this has been a pretty active day. It maybe not quite as active as we thought it was going to get, but we've still had, I'd say, probably at least 10 tornado warnings issued throughout the day, maybe even a little bit more than that, along with several severe thunderstorm warnings and a whole bunch of flash flood warnings. In fact, most of Middle Tennessee, or at least a lot of it, is still included in flash flood warnings. That also goes up in the parts of southern Kentucky as well. Those are the two tornado warnings that we still have in effect. That one that was in the far eastern, northeastern portions of Cumberland County, that's not going to be in our viewing area a whole lot longer. That tornado warning is set to go until 8 o'clock though, but it could be crossing over the county line before that. So here's that area of rotation. Like we were talking earlier, this is a far ways away from the Nashville radar site. That's why there's all these gaps in these pixels. It can't get the greatest picture because this beam is having to travel a long ways, and it's also shooting up a little bit higher in the atmosphere as well once it travels out that far. But if there is any tornado threat, this is where it's going to be right there. So we'll zoom in on this area. This is going to be just south of Rogers, just to the southeast of Lake Pomeroy, Berkshire Forest, that area as well. Also looking over here around the Daysville area, around Deerwood too. You need to be in your safe place as well. I'll put the regular reflectivity back up. We get a little bit better picture on that. And you can see this is right at the county line. So we're not going to have to deal with this for a whole lot longer. And then as we move on, dropping back down a little bit to the west of that, this is going to be for parts of White County, still included within that tornado warning. So I'm going to bring this back up. Try to clear my screen. Let's see. I got a pop-up going on my screen that I cannot get off. So hopefully everything, okay, there we go. Let me get back on the radar site now. There's the tornado watch while we're on that map real quick. But okay, so that tornado warned storm that was over here on the eastern portions of Cumberland County, that has now left our viewing area. So they were able to go ahead and cancel that early. That was supposed to expire at 8 o'clock. It's 7:41. They were able to clip that tornado warning away. So that second tornado warning is now gone. It's still just this first tornado warning that we were having to deal with that started out in Van Buren County and then traveled up on into White County. That's where the storm is located. That tornado warned storm right now located on the eastern half, east central White County. This is going to be right near Stringtown. I'm going to put the velocity product back up. This is where we can see where the best rotation is, and I will say that earlier this storm was showing some pretty good rotation. We're still seeing a little bit right here. It is not near as pronounced, though, as it was a few radar scans ago. This tornado warning is set to go until 7:45. It's 7:41 right now, so with this little bit of weakening, like I said, we're still seeing some rotation, so you still need to stay in your safe place. It does appear to be a little bit weaker, though, than what we were looking at when this tornado warning was initially issued, when it was down there in Van Buren County. So we'll be keeping an eye on that for the next 3 minutes. Clock just hit 7:42. This tornado warning is going to go until 7:45. And that's the only tornado warning that we still have up in effect for our area, but that is on top of all of these flash flood warnings as well. So just play it safe. If you come across any flooded roadways, don't try to drive through any of those. Flooding it can be very dangerous. It doesn't take much fast-moving water to sweep a person or a vehicle away, and more than half of the deaths that occur with flooding occurred just because people have tried to drive through flooded roadways. So just play it smart, turn around, find you a different way to get around there, because definitely not something you don't want to be dealing with. Very preventable with that. Still this area right here, though, 7:45. I'm going to pop back over to the National Weather Service chat and just make sure that I'm not missing any updates that have come in. Let's see. They're planning to let the tornado warning go that is in effect right now for White County at 7:45. So that is good news. National Weather Service also agreeing that the rotation is not looking as impressive as it was when this tornado warning was initially issued down there in Van Buren County, now that it's moved on up into White County. So 7:43 current time, only about 2 more minutes left to go onto that tornado warning right there. This is going to go until 7:45. This is Stringtown right here. This is where the better area of rotation was headed up towards, but like we've been talking about, it started to broaden out a little bit. So I don't think this is going to pose a threat, but we're going to give it just another scan just to make sure, let that go for another couple minutes, just to make sure that that no longer poses a threat. And we will see where everything goes from there. I'm going to pop back over, like I was saying, popping back and forth between several different products over here, just trying to make sure I'm not missing anything. I want to check down here in North Alabama too, because we've had a couple of these storms that were severe thunderstorm warned. They were trying to push up in our tornado, or into our viewing area. They had a tornado possible tag that was included on that severe thunderstorm warning. Not seeing any of that right now. All of these big long rectangles right here that are maroon, that aren't blinking, those are just a flash flood warning. So we're not seeing any flash flood warnings going on, or we're not seeing any tornado warnings going on. These are all flash flood warnings that cover a good portion of North Alabama, also up here in the parts of Middle Tennessee as well. This is the only tornado warning that we have, and we're probably going to be able to hop off here. I don't expect this area, this tornado warning, it doesn't sound like is going to get extended on up into Putnam County. So that's good news. Here it is, a new radar scan just came in. Just maybe still just some very minimal rotation going on right here. This is right up here against the White County and Putnam County line. So Putnam County is going to be running right here. I know this picture is a little bit cluttered. Can't see that. We have these gaps in the radar just because it is too far away from the radar. But right here in the northern portions of White County, this is probably going to be let go here at any moment now. This tornado warning should be expiring. So we'll just stay here until it goes away. But like I said, no plans on them extending that tornado warning. Okay, this tornado warning just popped off. I know we had to cut in, unfortunately, over the last part of the game. I'm sorry about that. We did have a couple tornado warnings, but I want to get you back over there as fast as we can, though, so you can at least catch this part.